Hi, it's Brooke from the Pink Polka Spot, and today I'm going to teach you how to fill and ice a cake. You will need icing of your choice. Just match it with whatever cake you're doing. For example, I'm using a red velvet, and I'm going to use a cream cheese frosting. So you'll need a good batch of that, because you'll be using that to fill and to ice the cake. And red velvet I did, and then I have another over here of another second layer of red velvet. Also, you're going to use a reusable or a disposable. I don't care. This is a disposable. This is tip 789 from Wilton, and it's also the cake icer tip, whatever. And then I filled it with a bag, and I just, clipped it in. And to fill the bag, I like to use a cup instead, and I just put it in, and voila. Also, you're going to need a spatula. I like the angled because it's easier to do. So you're going to start out using your angled spatula, and you're going to go and fill it up with the cream cheese icing, and I'm just doing this. This is like a thinner consistency one, but you just take it in like that. And I'm going to take a little bit more of that and stick it in. And I like scraping it on the sides. It's just easier. You're going to continue doing that until the bag is full. Well, until halfway, because then it's easier to control with the pressure. So now that the bag's filled, you just lift it out of the cup and look. Well, some's already running down, but you're going to go, take the bag up like this, and then twist it around. Okay, so for the cake, I generally like to put wax paper underneath it, just, if there's any screw-ups on it. Later you can just pull it out, and, it's better like that. So what you're going to use is, it doesn't matter what side of the bag, because there's like a rigid side and then, a non-rigid side. But anyway, so then you're going to just take it and just pull it through. Stop. Take it, pull it through, and stop. As you can see, this icing is going fast. Here, I'll use the other side. You just apply even pressure and stop. And then you're going to kind of do like a lattice work, so you're going to take it over, pull, stop. Take it, pull, stop. Take it, pull it, and stop. So as you can see, the lattice work is done, and I'm going to use the same spatula I used for putting the icing in the bag, and I'm going to just smooth it all around. And I have this on a turntable, so it's easier for when I ice it. I just like using this tip because you just get it all the way around, and it's quicker to ice, So I just took the top layer of my cake, and I put it on. So as you can see that there's markings around here, from the filling. So what I'm going to do is just take a clean spatula, or the same spatula, but just wipe off the icing. I'm going to come around with this side and wipe it, and then put it back in the bowl to save for later. And do the same from over here, if you can't really see. So right now I'm going to crumb coat the cake, and all that is just sealing in the crumbs. So I like to start on the sides, and I have this on a turntable, as you can see. So all I'm doing is just applying a little pressure and just circling the turntable around, because the dirty ice does not need to be nice, because later you will seal all the rest in with your second real coat of icing. As you can see, my pressure is not that great. Now that I've circled the cake around with the piping, I'm going to just, smooth out this layer. And it's nice if you do it all in the same, general aspect, but all this is just sealing in crumbs. And if some of this has fallen on the wax paper, it's fine, because later we're going to be removing that, and you won't even know that there was wax paper there. Now I'm going to just spin this around, make it all clean looking. so it's easier to ice later. Next, we're going to go in and crumb coat the top of the cake, because you definitely want to do the sides first. You'll see why in a second. Just slowly but surely, don't apply too much pressure. You know, it's just a crumb coat. Doesn't have to be nice. And you might want to just do one lattice in the center. So just like the side coating, all we're going to do is just, you know, do the crumb coat. And you really don't want to touch the cake, because if you do that, all you're doing is picking up more crumbs. So don't touch the cake unless you really have to. As you can see, this icing is already picking up crumbs because I already touched the cake, which is, like I said, not what you're supposed to do. And finally, the last thing you're going to do is just, you know, go over it again. Make sure if you know, don't have something smooth enough on one side, you know, just go around on your turntable and just spin it. And do the same, because on the top, you'll have this, and you don't want that. You'd rather see more of the cake than ever. Now that you have a really nice crumb coat, you don't want to ice it until after the icing hardens. Now by doing this, you can either put it in the freezer for a few minutes, maybe like 10 at the max, and then you're going to touch the cake, and if it comes wet again, like the icing consistency like it should be, then that means go put it back in. Now, if you want, you can put it in the refrigerator, which is what I'll do, and you just put it in there for maybe 15-20 minutes, make sure it hardens, so when you ice it, it looks nicer. Now after that, I'd also suggest putting your icing in there as well, because then it can harden up, and then you have a really nice top coat or, you know, finishing coat. So what I just did was take out of the refrigerator both the icing and the cakes, and I, you know, refilled my bag if I ran out of it, so do that right now. So anyways, we're going to just start out with doing the sides, basically like you did on the crumb coat, but you want to do a little heavier. So when I mean by a little heavier, I mean apply a little bit more pressure. But before that, we're going to go and basically, they call it burp in the bag, to get all the air pockets out of your bag. And that's all you want to do. You just push, you squeeze a little pressure, and then when you hear a little like pop or some kind of air thing, you'll know. So anyways, I'm going to start on the sides and make sure you have your turntable. So we're going to start out by going on the sides. I'm left-handed, so I generally do it like I start the turntable going this way, but I think righties would do it. I don't know how you guys would do that. So yeah, you just want to start and go around. Now, if you can see around here, it looks really droopy. So, like we did with the crumb coat, you're going to just take that and put it around the whole cake. The wax paper sometimes gets in the way. Now, if you notice here, I think the bottom looks really smooth and the top does not. Now, to do that, you're going to just take out your icing tip and do a thinner than you did on the last one, and just do it towards the top, and it doesn't matter if it folds over and it hits the top. Now just smooth out the top just like you did on the bottom. It looks dark on the top, and that's just because of the cake is there, of course. So, just apply a little bit more of the piping bag to that area. Smooth it out once again. And again, just circle it around. Now that the sides of the cake are all smoothed out, you want to do the top just like you did on the dirty icing, but you just want to make it a little thicker on the top. Now just scoop up some cream cheese frosting or whatever frosting you're using and apply it just to the top, because you already finished the sides. And just continue to spread it all along the top. So I'm going to just finish it off by smoothing up the sides and get the problem areas. Now that I have all the icing on here, I just want to go over the whole cake and make it smooth. So now that you have filled and iced your cake, go try it. Thanks for watching, guys, and watch our other videos on Pink Polka Spot.